Dr. Nuvin wiped the sweat from his forehead as he stared at the wall of the ruined temple. The desert sun burned overhead, but inside the crumbling stone walls, shadows offered a brief relief. For years, he had studied ancient civilizations, and now he felt closer than ever to a discovery that could change history. His hands brushed over strange markings on the stone, symbols that no one had fully understood for centuries. "This is incredible," Nuvin whispered, calling Mina over. Mina was an engineer with a keen mind and a curious spirit. She crouched beside him, examining the carvings. "These markings are more than decoration," she said. "They form a map, but not a normal map. It points to something hidden, something very old." Tarek, their guide, leaned against the doorway. His weathered face showed years of experience in the desert. "I have seen many ruins, but nothing like this. It feels like the place was waiting for someone to find it." He ran his fingers over a symbol shaped like a black circle surrounded by light. "Look at this. It is like a sun blocked by shadow." Nuvin's heart raced. He had heard legends of a pharaoh who had built a tomb unlike any other, a place meant to guard treasures and knowledge that could outshine kingdoms. Most dismissed the stories as myths, but the carvings here suggested otherwise. He carefully traced the lines with his finger, realizing they aligned with star patterns in the night sky. "Could it be possible?" Nuvin asked, looking at Mina and Tarek. "The map is showing a real path, and it might lead to the pharaoh's tomb." Mina nodded, her eyes shining. "It is more than possible. These markings match celestial positions. If we follow them, we may find something no one has ever seen before." The three of them spent the day documenting every symbol, every curve, and every mark. They photographed the carvings and copied them into notebooks. Nuvin explained the importance of their work. "We must be careful. This could be dangerous, but the knowledge here is worth the risk." As the sun dipped below the horizon, the desert transformed. The sky glowed with reds and purples, and the first stars appeared. Nuvin pointed to the stars. "These are the constellations shown on the wall. They are our guide. Tomorrow, we begin the journey to where they point." That night, the team camped near the temple ruins. A gentle wind carried the scent of dry sand and distant rock. They sat by a small fire, discussing what lay ahead. Tarek told stories of ancient explorers and lost treasures, while Mina sketched mechanical tools that might help them navigate hidden traps. Nuvin could hardly sleep, his mind filled with visions of golden chambers, walls covered in ancient scripts, and the legendary black sun symbol that seemed to guard the tomb. In the quiet hours, Nuvin walked alone, looking at the temple walls. The carvings seemed alive under the moonlight. He felt a strange energy, as if the stones themselves were watching, waiting for the right people to arrive. He touched the black sun symbol again and whispered, "If this is real, we must honor it. This is not just gold or treasure. It is a legacy of knowledge." The next morning, the team set off across the desert. Their camels moved steadily over the golden sands. The star map had led them to a canyon several miles away, a place where ancient builders might have hidden an entrance. Along the way, they noticed more carvings on rocks, showing humans and shadowy figures under the black sun. Some depicted battles, others showed people offering gifts. Nuvin thought that these images were warnings and guidance from a civilization that had understood the balance of power and wisdom. Mina adjusted her tools, scanning the terrain. "These rocks are not random. They are markers. Follow them carefully, and we will reach the hidden path." Tarek led the way, his instincts sharp. "I have traveled this desert for years, but these signs are unusual. They feel deliberate, like someone wanted only the worthy to find this place. As they approached the canyon, the wind picked up, carrying fine sand that glimmered under the morning sun. Navin felt a thrill of anticipation. The entrance to the tomb could be close, hidden by nature and time. They stopped at a large rock formation. The star map matched perfectly with this location. Navin ran his hand along the surface, feeling the carvings beneath the sand. This is it. The tomb is here. We must proceed carefully. The team spent the afternoon clearing sand and examining the rocks. They discovered strange grooves and patterns that hinted at mechanisms hidden beneath the surface. Navin realized that opening the tomb would require not only strength but also intelligence and respect for the ancient builders. As evening fell, they set up camp at the canyon's edge. The sky turned deep blue, and the first stars of the night appeared. Navin looked up at the constellations and thought about the journey ahead. He knew the challenges would be great, but human courage, curiosity, and teamwork would guide them. The tomb of the Pharaoh of the Black Sun awaited, and they were ready to face whatever lay within. The sun rose slowly over the endless desert, painting the sky with gold and orange. Navin, Mina, and Tarek prepared their camels and supplies for the long journey ahead. The canyon they had discovered seemed quiet and untouched. Navin felt a mix of excitement and caution. The star map had guided them this far, but the desert held many surprises. As they moved forward, the wind began to pick up. Sand whipped across the dunes, making it difficult to see far ahead. Tarek took the lead, using his experience to guide the team through the shifting sands. Mina checked the equipment, making sure their tools were ready. Navin walked beside her, constantly scanning the horizon for clues hidden in the rocks and sands. After several hours, they noticed strange formations along the sides of the dunes. Rocks were carved with symbols, much like the ones in the temple. Some showed humans kneeling before a black sun, while others depicted animals with wings and eyes that glowed faintly. Navin studied them carefully. "These are markers," he said. "Someone wanted travelers to follow this path, but only those who could understand the signs would succeed." Mina knelt beside a large stone and ran her fingers over the carvings. "The shapes are complex, but there is a pattern," she said. "They point toward a canyon hidden in the distance. That must be where the tomb entrance is." As they continued, the desert became more challenging. Rocks jutted out at odd angles, and sand dunes rose higher than the eye could see. The sun grew hotter, and the camels slowed under the weight of the packs. Navin handed water to the animals and checked his own supplies. Every step forward felt like a test of endurance. Late in the afternoon, they reached a wide valley. Here, the sand shimmered strangely. Navin bent down to examine it and realized that tiny crystals sparkled in the sunlight. "This sand is different," he said. "It is almost as if it is alive, guiding us." Tarek nodded. "Legends speak of glowing sands that mark sacred paths. Perhaps we are walking on one." The team pressed on, following the path marked by the glowing sands. The air began to feel cooler as they entered a narrow canyon. Shadows stretched across the walls, creating shapes that looked like moving figures. Navin could feel the energy in the stones, as if the canyon itself remembered the builders of the tomb. He whispered to Mina, "The Pharaoh wanted this place to remain hidden, but also to guide those who are worthy." Suddenly, a small sandstorm rose from the canyon floor. The wind twisted around the rocks, making it almost impossible to see. Mina held onto her bag of tools, and Tarek guided the camels carefully. Navin squinted, searching for the path through the swirling sand. "Keep close," he shouted over the wind. "We must move together." After what felt like an hour, the storm passed. The canyon was silent again. The walls were covered with more carvings, showing humans working together to move massive stones and lift treasures. Navin traced his finger over one figure holding a star map. "It is like a message from the past," he said. "They are showing us that teamwork and courage are the key to reaching the tomb." As the sun began to set, the canyon narrowed. The shadows grew long, and the temperature dropped quickly. Mina noticed a small indentation in the rock wall. "Look here," she said. "These grooves might be part of a mechanism. The tomb entrance could be hidden just beyond this point." Tarek examined the indentation. "It seems ancient but precise. Only someone who understands the markings could open it." Navin smiled. "Then we are on the right path. The builders wanted us to succeed, but they also wanted to test our minds and our hearts." That night, the team set up camp in the canyon. The sky above was clear, revealing thousands of stars. Navin pointed to the constellations, comparing them with the ones on the star map. "The patterns match perfectly," he said. "Tomorrow, we will be very close to the tomb. The black sun symbol appears in the sky at this time, just as it did in the temple carvings." They ate a simple meal of dried fruits and bread, and Tarek told stories of ancient explorers who had searched for hidden tombs. Mina sketched the canyon walls, noting the positions of the carvings and grooves. Navin sat quietly, thinking about what lay ahead. The tomb was not just a place of gold, it was a place of knowledge, built by a civilization that understood the stars, energy, and human potential. Before sleeping, Navin walked to the edge of the canyon. The glowing sands reflected the moonlight, casting a soft light across the valley. He felt a sense of connection to the past, as if the Pharaoh and his people were watching, waiting for the right travelers to arrive. Navin whispered, "We must honor their work. This journey is not just for treasure. It is for understanding and for the future of humanity." The night passed quietly, but the team knew that challenges awaited in the morning. The tomb's entrance was near, hidden within the rocks. Navin, Mina, and Tarek were ready. Together, they would face whatever trials the Pharaoh had prepared, guided by courage, intelligence, and respect for the ancient builders. As dawn broke, the canyon glowed with golden light. The team packed their belongings and prepared to move deeper into the rocks. The tomb was close, and the desert seemed to whisper its approval. This was only the beginning of their journey, and Navin felt a thrill of anticipation. Human courage, wisdom, and unity would be their greatest tools as they stepped closer to the Pharaoh's secret. The morning sun rose over the canyon, filling the narrow walls with warm light. Navin, Mina, and Tarek adjusted their packs and prepared to move deeper into the rocks. The star map had led them this far, and now the hidden entrance to the tomb awaited. The air was still, and even the desert wind seemed to pause, as if the canyon itself was holding its breath. As they walked, Mina noticed faint grooves on the rock walls. "These are not natural," she said. "They look like part of a mechanism. The tomb entrance must be hidden somewhere nearby." Tarek examined the grooves carefully. "It is as if the rocks are a puzzle. Only those who pay attention to details can find the way." Navin studied the patterns, tracing them with his hand. The grooves matched the star map exactly, pointing toward a wall at the far end of the canyon. When they reached the wall, Navin noticed a large stone slab covered in carvings. A black sun symbol was etched at its center, glowing faintly in the morning light. "This must be it," he said. "The entrance is behind this slab." Mina studied the carvings, her mind working quickly. "Look at the lines around the symbol. They form a sequence, almost like a combination. If we follow it correctly, the slab should move. Tarek nodded. Ancient builders were clever. They wanted to protect the tomb but also guide those who are worthy. He stepped aside, giving Mina and Navin space to work. Carefully, Mina traced the symbols with her fingers, pressing and sliding stones in the correct sequence. Slowly, the slab began to shift, revealing a dark passage behind it. Navin felt a thrill of excitement. The air inside was cool and smelled of earth and stone. Light from the canyon barely reached the interior, making the passage appear like a shadow tunnel. "We should move carefully," Navin said. "There could be traps or obstacles inside." Tarek led the way, his experience guiding each step. The passage was narrow at first, forcing them to walk single file. The walls were covered in more carvings, showing humans lifting massive stones and offering gifts to shadowy figures under the black sun. Navin paused to study them. "These carvings are like lessons," he said. "The Pharaoh wanted people to learn courage, intelligence, and respect." As they advanced, Mina noticed faint pressure plates on the floor. "These stones might trigger traps," she warned. "Step on the wrong one, and we could be in danger." Navin nodded. "Then we step carefully. One wrong move could end the journey before it begins." They moved slowly, testing each step before placing full weight on the stones. The walls began to narrow further, and the air grew cooler. Strange symbols glowed faintly, illuminating the path just enough to see. It felt as though the tomb was alive, observing their actions and judging their worthiness. Suddenly, a section of the floor shifted under Navin's foot. He leaped back just in time as a hidden pit opened. Mina and Tarek followed carefully, avoiding the trap. Navin took a deep breath. This tomb is designed to test intelligence and caution. We must remain focused. Deeper inside, the passage widened into a chamber filled with more complex carvings. Humans and shadowy figures were shown working together and solving challenges. Mina studied them. These figures represent teamwork and cleverness. The Pharaoh wanted only those who can work together to proceed. Tarek nodded. "It is a test of character. The tomb is not just hiding treasure. It is teaching lessons to those who enter." The chamber had another obstacle. A massive stone door blocked the way, with intricate patterns carved on its surface. Navin examined the symbols. "These patterns match the stars," he said. "If we align the shapes with the constellations above, the door should open." Mina quickly sketched the stars on her notebook, comparing them to the carvings. With careful movements, they rotated stone sections to match the constellations. The massive door rumbled and slowly slid open, revealing a narrow spiral staircase leading downward. Navin felt a sense of awe. The tomb's design was more than clever, it was a combination of science, art, and understanding of human behavior. As they descended, the walls of the staircase glowed with faint golden light. Navin reached out to touch them and felt a subtle energy running through the stone. "This is incredible," he said. "The Pharaoh's civilization understood something we are only beginning to learn today." Mina smiled. "Every step we take shows their brilliance. They built this tomb to challenge the mind and spirit, not just protect gold." Tarek led the way to the bottom of the staircase, where a large iron-bound door blocked further progress. The black sun symbol was etched at its center, pulsing faintly. Navin stepped forward and placed his hand on the symbol. He felt a small vibration, as if the tomb recognized his presence. Carefully, Mina pressed matching carvings on the door. With a loud but controlled rumble, the iron door slowly opened, revealing darkness beyond. Navin shone his light into the chamber. The walls shimmered faintly with reflective gold dust. The air smelled of ancient stone and energy. He whispered to the team, "We have reached the heart of the tomb. What lies ahead will test our courage, intelligence, and unity. We must remain focused and respectful." Mina and Tarek nodded. Together, they stepped into the darkness, ready for the challenges ahead. The tomb of the Pharaoh of the Black Sun awaited, holding secrets older than any living memory, and the team knew that human courage and determination would be their guide through the eternal shadows. The staircase ended in a wide chamber filled with darkness. Navin shone his light across the walls, revealing strange carvings that seemed to move in the flickering beam. The air was cool, but there was a sense of energy, almost like the room itself was alive. Mina stepped forward, carefully scanning the floor for hidden traps. Tarek followed closely, his eyes alert to every detail. At the center of the chamber was a black sun symbol, carved deeply into the stone. It seemed to absorb the light from Navin's lamp, creating an unnatural shadow that spread across the floor. Surrounding the symbol were countless golden artifacts suspended in the air by invisible forces. The gold shimmered softly, reflecting faint light back onto the walls, casting patterns that looked like stars. "This is incredible," Navin whispered. "The Pharaoh's tomb is more than a resting place. It is a display of knowledge and power. The gold is not ordinary, it seems alive." Mina stepped closer to examine the artifacts. "Look at how they float. There must be a technology or energy here we do not understand. The tomb is designed to test not only strength but intelligence." Tarek studied the carvings on the walls. "These images tell a story. Humans working together, learning from the stars, and understanding energy. The Pharaoh wanted this chamber to teach lessons about courage, wisdom, and respect." As they explored, Navin noticed that the golden artifacts reflected not their faces but their actions and intentions. When he reached out, the gold pulsed gently under his hand, as if responding to his presence. Mina touched one of the floating bracelets, and it glowed brighter for a moment before returning to its position. "This gold reacts to us," Navin said. "It is not just treasure. It is part of the tomb's design, a way to measure the worthiness of those who enter." They moved deeper into the chamber, discovering more carvings on the walls. Humans were depicted learning from celestial events, building devices, and creating energy from light. Navin realized that the Pharaoh's civilization had knowledge far beyond anything in the modern world. The tomb was a library of wisdom, hidden and protected for generations. Suddenly, a faint humming filled the chamber. The black sun symbol pulsed, and the floating gold began to shift slowly in the air. Navin signaled the team to stay calm. "This is the eternal eclipse," he said quietly. "The Pharaoh designed it to show the power of unity and intelligence. We must be careful and respectful." Mina and Tarek nodded. They moved slowly, observing the patterns of the gold and the carvings. Each artifact seemed to respond to their focus and intent. When Navin approached a floating cup, it lifted slightly and tilted toward him. When Mina touched a golden sphere, it glowed brighter. It was as if the tomb recognized their curiosity and their respect for the knowledge within. Tarek stepped closer to a golden plate suspended near the wall. He placed his hands on it, and the plate rotated gently, revealing hidden inscriptions beneath. "The tomb is interactive," he said. "It reacts to our actions, teaching us as we explore." Navin read the inscriptions aloud. They spoke of energy, light, and human potential. The Pharaoh's civilization had discovered ways to harness energy from the stars and to use it to create life-sustaining technology. The chamber was designed to test not greed, but understanding. It rewarded those who approached with curiosity and courage, and it guided them toward knowledge rather than simply offering wealth. As they moved carefully through the chamber, the shadows seemed to shift, creating the effect of a black sun blocking light from above. The team realized that the eternal eclipse was not a physical phenomenon but a symbolic one. It represented the balance between darkness and light, testing those who dared to enter. Mina studied the glowing inscriptions. "The gold is not the treasure," she said. "The knowledge is." The Pharaoh wanted future generations to learn, to grow, and to use wisdom for good. Navin nodded. "That is why the tomb is protected. It is a challenge for the mind and spirit. Only those with courage, intelligence, and respect can fully understand it." They spent hours exploring the chamber, carefully observing each artifact, inscription, and pattern of energy. The tomb seemed to respond to their presence, guiding them forward without any danger, as if rewarding their patience and care. Navin felt a sense of awe. This was a civilization that understood the power of humanity, the potential to learn and grow, and the importance of protecting knowledge. As the day passed, the chamber's light shifted subtly. The gold reflected patterns that resembled constellations, mirroring the star map they had followed to reach this place. Navin looked at his team. "We have come far, and the tomb is showing us its secrets. What lies ahead will be even greater, but we must remember the lessons here. Respect and understanding are the keys to everything in this place." Mina smiled. "We are ready. The tomb has tested us so far, and we have passed. Now it is time to see what the Pharaoh truly wanted to share." Tarek nodded, his eyes reflecting the soft glow of the floating gold. Together, they moved deeper into the chamber, ready to face the mysteries and trials that awaited in the heart of the tomb. The eternal eclipse was a reminder that human courage, intelligence, and unity were the most powerful forces, capable of unlocking secrets older than any living memory. The chamber was quiet, yet the team could feel a subtle movement in the air. Navin studied the floating gold and the glowing inscriptions, trying to understand the next step. Mina adjusted her tools, ready for any unexpected challenges, while Tarek remained alert, scanning the walls and shadows for danger. Suddenly, the air shifted, and from the darkness along the walls, shadowy figures began to emerge. They were not fully solid, but their presence was strong and imposing. Their forms resembled humans but moved with a fluid grace, their eyes glowing faintly like the black sun symbol above. Navin stepped back, holding his light steady. "These are the guardians," he whispered. "They are not meant to harm, but to test us. We must stay calm and show courage." Mina took a deep breath. "Then we act carefully. Observe them, understand them, and respond with intelligence." The guardians circled the chamber, their movements synchronized with the floating gold. The team noticed that each shadow seemed to react to their actions and intentions. When Navin moved with care, a guardian paused, watching. When Mina approached a floating sphere with respect, the guardian nearby tilted its head, as if acknowledging her. Tarek spoke quietly. "They are not enemies. They are tests. The tomb is designed to measure our courage, intelligence, and unity." The first trial began. A guardian moved closer, blocking the path to a golden tablet suspended in mid-air. It extended a shadowy arm toward Navin, and the inscriptions on the wall glowed brighter. Navin realized that to proceed, he needed to solve a puzzle displayed by the glowing symbols. He studied the tablet carefully, tracing the lines and patterns with his fingers. Slowly, he rearranged the glowing symbols in the correct sequence. The guardian stepped aside, and the tablet lowered gently, allowing him to read the inscriptions. "This is incredible," Navin said softly. "The guardians test not force, but intelligence. They want us to think, not fight. Mina approached the next guardian, which moved in a sweeping circle to block a passage. She studied its movements, noticing that it reacted to hesitation. She stepped forward confidently, showing careful control and respect. The guardian stopped, allowing her to access a floating sphere that glowed with golden energy. She touched it lightly, and it rotated, revealing hidden carvings beneath. These guardians are designed to reward courage and precision, Mina said. They teach lessons, not punish mistakes. Tarek faced the largest guardian in the chamber. Its presence was imposing, and its shadow stretched across the floor like a wall of darkness. He realized that this guardian would test his experience and instincts. He moved carefully, observing the guardian's pattern. With steady steps, he passed the trial, reaching a set of carvings that explained how the Pharaoh's people had harnessed energy from light and stars. The team continued through the chamber, facing more guardians. Each challenge was different. Some tested memory, some required patience, and others demanded cooperation. Navin realized that the tomb was designed to push humans to their limits, but always in a way that rewarded skill, courage, and unity. At one point, the tomb created a vision for each team member. Navin saw himself failing the mission and disappointing his team. Mina saw her inventions destroyed and useless. Tarek saw the desert swallowing them in endless sand. Each vision was vivid and real, but the guardians did not attack. They observed how each member reacted. Navin took a deep breath and focused on the present. Mina reminded herself of the lessons they had learned in the temple and canyon. Tarek relied on his instincts and experience. Together, they overcame their fears. The guardians watched silently, then slowly retreated to the walls. The chamber pulsed with energy, and the floating gold shimmered brightly. Navin realized that the tomb had tested their minds, courage, and hearts. They had proven themselves worthy of the Pharaoh's secrets. Mina touched one of the floating artifacts. It glowed warmly, as if acknowledging their success. The tomb responds to respect and intelligence, she said. The gold and knowledge are rewards, but only for those who act with courage and unity. Tarek nodded. This is what the Pharaoh intended. The tomb is not about treasure alone. It is about growth, understanding, and the potential of humans. Navin looked around the chamber, feeling a deep connection to the builders of the tomb. He realized that human courage and intelligence were being honored here. The guardians had tested their limits, showing that fear, greed, or impatience could lead to failure, but respect, unity, and determination would unlock the secrets hidden for generations. As the team prepared to move deeper into the tomb, the black sun symbol above pulsed once, casting a soft golden light across the chamber. The guardians faded into the walls, leaving the team alone with the floating gold and inscriptions. Navin smiled at his companions. We have passed the first major trial. The tomb has shown us that our greatest strength is human courage and unity. Mina and Tarek agreed, feeling proud of their teamwork and determination. Together, they moved toward the next passage, ready for whatever awaited them. The Pharaoh's tomb had revealed its first secret: true power lies in human intelligence, courage, and the ability to work together. With steady steps, they advanced, knowing that even greater challenges and wisdom awaited in the heart of the tomb. The journey was far from over, but the team felt stronger, united, and inspired by the lessons of the eternal Eclipse. The passage beyond the guardians led to a grand staircase carved from smooth black stone. The walls shimmered faintly with gold dust, reflecting the soft light of the black sun symbol above. Navin, Mina, and Tarek descended carefully, feeling the weight of anticipation. Every step brought them closer to the heart of the tomb, and the energy in the air grew stronger, almost alive. At the bottom of the staircase, they entered a massive chamber. The ceiling arched high above, covered in intricate carvings of stars and celestial events. In the center of the room floated a large black sun symbol, suspended by invisible energy. Below it, a pyramid of gold gleamed faintly in the darkness, surrounded by floating artifacts similar to those they had seen before. The chamber radiated power and mystery, and Navin felt a thrill of awe. "This is the heart of the tomb," he whispered. The pharaoh wanted this room to be the ultimate test, the place where knowledge and treasure meet. Mina stepped forward, examining the floating gold. "The artifacts respond to us, just like before, but this feels different. The energy is stronger, more focused. It is as if the tomb itself is alive here." Tarek studied the inscriptions on the walls. They told the story of the pharaoh and his civilization, revealing that the gold was not just wealth, but a symbol of energy and knowledge. The people had learned to harness the stars, creating power and tools for life that far exceeded modern understanding. The tomb had been designed to preserve this knowledge for future generations who were worthy. Navin approached the pyramid of gold. He noticed that the objects reflected not their faces but their actions and intentions. As he moved, the gold shifted slightly, reacting to his focus. Mina touched a floating artifact, and it glowed brighter, revealing hidden inscriptions that spoke of energy, light, and the importance of wisdom. "This is not treasure in the ordinary sense," Navin said. "The pharaoh left something far greater than gold. He left knowledge, the kind that can guide humanity forward." The team spent hours exploring the chamber, carefully observing each artifact and reading the inscriptions. The tomb responded to their presence, creating pathways of light and shifting the floating gold to reveal hidden symbols. Every object seemed to teach a lesson, showing that intelligence, courage, and respect for knowledge were the keys to understanding. Suddenly, a soft vibration ran through the chamber. The black sun symbol above pulsed, and the pyramid of gold began to glow. Navin realized that they were being presented with the final test. The tomb had tested their courage, teamwork, and intelligence in the previous chambers, and now it required understanding and respect. Mina placed her hands carefully on a floating sphere, feeling the energy within. The sphere glowed and rotated, revealing a map of the stars and diagrams of energy flows. Navin and Tarek studied the map together, realizing that it contained instructions for creating sustainable energy, harnessing power from the stars without harming the environment. "This is amazing," Navin said. "The pharaoh's people discovered a way to use energy that is beyond modern science. They preserved it here, knowing that future humans could benefit if they were worthy." Tarek nodded. "It is a gift and a responsibility. We cannot take the gold or disturb the chamber. The knowledge is what matters, and we must respect it." They decided to document everything carefully. Navin sketched diagrams, Mina wrote notes, and Tarek memorized details. They made sure to leave the floating gold and artifacts untouched. The tomb seemed to respond to their respect, pulsing gently with energy, as if approving their choice. As they explored further, they discovered that the chamber contained lessons about human potential. Carvings showed people learning, building, and creating together. They emphasized courage, intelligence, empathy, and teamwork as the greatest strengths of humanity. Navin felt a deep connection to the builders of the tomb. He realized that the pharaoh's intention was to inspire future generations, to show that human potential could reach incredible heights when guided by wisdom and unity. Mina looked around in awe. The gold and artifacts are impressive, but the real treasure is the knowledge and the lesson it teaches us. This tomb is a testament to what humans can achieve. Tarek agreed. We have proven ourselves worthy, not by taking treasure, but by understanding it and respecting it. That is what the Pharaoh wanted. Before leaving the chamber, Nuvin, Mina, and Tarek paused under the black sun symbol. They felt the energy around them, a reminder of the civilization that had come before and the legacy it had left behind. The tomb had tested their minds, hearts, and spirits, showing that human courage, intelligence, and unity were the most powerful forces of all. Finally, they prepared to leave the heart of the tomb. The black sun pulsed one last time, casting soft golden light over the chamber. The floating gold shimmered and then settled in place, as if waiting for future generations to return. Nuvin smiled at his companions. We have learned more than we could have imagined. The tomb has given us its secrets, but it has also reminded us that respect, courage, and intelligence are what truly matter. Mina and Tarek nodded. Together, they began the journey back through the chambers, carrying the knowledge and understanding they had gained. The Pharaoh's tomb had revealed its ultimate secret, and the team knew that the lessons they had learned would guide humanity toward a brighter future. The journey back through the tomb felt different. Nuvin, Mina, and Tarek walked carefully, retracing their steps past the guardians, the chambers, and the floating gold. This time, there was no fear, only a sense of respect and understanding. The tomb seemed quieter, as if acknowledging their growth and courage. Every step reminded them of the lessons they had learned. Courage, intelligence, and unity were the true treasures of humanity. As they climbed the final staircase toward the surface, the air grew warmer, and faint sunlight filtered through the hidden entrance. Nuvin paused for a moment, looking back at the dark chamber below. He imagined the black sun symbol pulsing softly, protecting the knowledge and waiting for future generations who were worthy. This place is more than a tomb, he said quietly. It is a legacy, a reminder of what humans can achieve when guided by wisdom and courage. Mina adjusted her tools and smiled. We have learned so much. The Pharaoh did not leave gold to take, he left lessons to understand. This knowledge is more valuable than anything we could carry. Tarek nodded. We have passed every test, faced every challenge, and respected what was sacred. That is why the tomb allowed us to see its secrets. We are not leaving with gold, but we are leaving with something far greater: understanding. They stepped into the canyon where the journey had begun. The desert stretched endlessly, bathed in the warm glow of the morning sun. The sand shimmered faintly, reflecting light as if celebrating their success. Nuvin felt a deep connection to the desert, to the tomb, and to the civilization that had created such a test. He realized that human potential was limitless when combined with courage, curiosity, and respect. Mina looked at the horizon, her eyes reflecting the golden sands. The tomb has shown us that humans are capable of incredible things. If we work together, we can learn, create, and protect knowledge for the future. Tarek scanned the canyon. We must share this wisdom carefully. Humanity must be ready to understand it. Greed and carelessness could destroy what the Pharaoh wanted to preserve. Nuvin nodded. We will document everything, but we will also protect the tomb. The knowledge is meant to guide, not to be exploited. He took out his notebook and began writing a detailed record of the star map, the carvings, and the lessons from the tomb. Mina sketched diagrams of the artifacts and the energy patterns, while Tarek memorized details that could not be recorded. Together, they created a complete record without disturbing the sacred site. As the day passed, they walked toward their camp near the canyon entrance. The desert was quiet, but the team felt a sense of connection to the Pharaoh and the civilization that had built the tomb. They had seen what humans could achieve when intelligence, courage, and respect were applied together. The tomb had tested them, and in return, it had shared its greatest gift, understanding and inspiration. That night, under a sky full of stars, Navin, Mina, and Tarek sat together. The black sun symbol in their memories glowed as if reminding them of the lessons they had learned. Navin spoke softly, "We have proven that humanity can rise above fear and greed. This journey has shown us that our greatest strength lies in our minds and hearts." Mina smiled. "And in our ability to work together. Each of us contributed to this journey, and together we succeeded. That is the lesson of the tomb." Tarek nodded. The Pharaoh wanted future humans to see that courage, intelligence, and unity are stronger than any treasure. We have experienced that truth. The next morning, the team packed their supplies and began the journey back to civilization. The desert was vast and challenging, but they moved with confidence. Every dune and every rock reminded them of the trials they had faced and overcome. They carried not gold, but wisdom, courage, and inspiration, the most valuable treasures a human could hold. As they traveled, Navin reflected on what they had learned. The tomb had been designed not to reward greed or selfishness, but to honor human potential. Every challenge, every guardian, and every artifact had been a lesson. Humanity was capable of greatness, and the Pharaoh had left a path to show that greatness to those willing to rise to the test. By the time they reached the edge of the desert, the tomb was far behind them, hidden by sand and rocks. Yet its presence remained with them, in their hearts and minds. Navin looked at his companions and smiled. The journey was not about treasure. It was about understanding who we are and what we can achieve. Mina and Tarek agreed. Together, they knew that the lessons of the tomb would guide them and others for the rest of their lives. Human courage, intelligence, and unity were gifts to cherish and share. The Pharaoh's tomb had revealed the greatest secret of all, that humanity itself is capable of shining even in eternal darkness. With the sun rising over the horizon, the team continued their journey. The desert stretched endlessly, but they walked with purpose, carrying the knowledge of the Pharaoh's civilization and the reminder that true power lies in the human mind, heart, and spirit. They would return to the world beyond the desert, ready to inspire others with the lessons they had learned. The tomb of the Black Sun remained hidden, its gold suspended in eternal light, guarding knowledge for future generations who were worthy. And humanity, guided by courage, intelligence, and unity, would continue to grow, explore, and shine.